Hey everyone, welcome back to another Sims 4 YouTube video. I wanted to do this mod because recently I have seen a lot of people think that we are getting fairies in The Sims, and we have had quite a bit of kind of like Easter eggs hitting to it. If you looked at the roadmap, there were a lot of things that looked very fairy-like. I'm not saying that we're getting fairies, but I'm saying that it is a possibility because we are supposed to be getting a stuff pack, and that could be a way of them adding in fairies for this roadmap. So there is a mod already out by Spinning Plum Bobs that is literally fairies versus witches. It adds in fairies and witches into your game. It does require Realm of Magic, so if you do not have that, the mod is not going to work. But I figured I would split it into two parts because this mod is very in depth. There's a lot of information to it, and I want to make sure that we can go over both sides and get as much information out so you guys aren't too confused on how to do it. It's not that confusing once you get the hang of it, but we'll be doing the fairies today. Wednesday we'll do the witches, so there'll be two parts to it, so you can choose which one you want to watch, or you can watch both. But I did also add in two other mods with it. It's both by Spinning Plum Bob. It's the animated wings mod, and then there's a unicorn mod that goes with, I would say, more the fairies, but honestly, you could probably play with both on the witches and the fairy side. But that is about it, so let's get into today's video and see if you would download this into your Sims 4 game. So we are in game, and the first step we need to do is become a fairy. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I did set up, if you'll notice, there's a wonderful little garden over here, because I kind of wanted to set the mood. You know, it looks, you know, very fairy-esque, but what you will need to do is make sure that you have this little statue, and I'll actually show you guys how to get that. We'll go into build mode, although I'm not at the garden, but it's fine. It works either way. You can either do it at your house or you can set up a nice little garden in your Sims world. But for me, I click custom content. Now, if you do play with a lot of custom content, I will just probably look it up. But because I only have this mod in my game, the custom content button is much easier for me to click. But this is the Giving Fairy. It's 1,000 simoleons, but if you are placing it on another lot, it won't cost you a dime. And you will basically place down this, and then we'll go through the actual process of becoming a fairy. But you also have other objects in here as well. This is for the witch part, which we will do on Wednesday. You do have these little castles that I think your fairies can live in. We'll explore those further on. Then you have the guide to witchcraft. Again, that'll be Wednesday. Fairy handbook, which is what we will need to get today, but I'm not going to buy it because I don't want to cheat. I know that's shocking. If you've watched a lot of my videos, I do tend to cheat a little bit, but hey, it's for a good cause. And then this is like another fairy bungalow. So honestly, I kind of want to buy one. Okay, so we are going to take my sim and we are going to travel over to this plot because I wanted to make it cute. So there is a few things that we need to do. So now that we're here at the garden, I'm going to go into her phone because you need to kind of make like a donation to the statue. I'm going to go ahead and purchase gifts, and I believe it's mainly like flowers or like any like type of like amethyst or whatever. I think we'll buy a daisy. I want to buy a few flowers in case it doesn't work. What is she doing? We haven't even been here for 5 minutes. What are you doing? All right, so we're gonna go up to this little statue and hit examine statue. Now she's examining and she says something's missing. Allison sees that the hand-carved fairy sculpture appears to be reaching down for something. Maybe she should place something on the pedestal, like a pretty flower or maybe a nice gemstone. Is she going back into self-note? If you want your Sims to cooperate, maybe not place a fountain on the property. We're gonna go ahead and place an item. As they were saying, you can either place a gemstone or a flower. So I'm gonna go ahead and place a rose down. I don't think you need to place too many of them, but as you can see, she has the rose down, and then we can admire it again. And as you can see, her eyes are like changing. So this is what pops up after you admire it, after her, you know, eyes went all crazy. As Allison suddenly sees a vision of the most peaceful glen she has ever seen, bathed in sunlight, and hears the faint sound of a whimsical laughter echoing through the meadow. What should she do? Should she embrace the beautiful sight or shake it off? This is a mod review, so I say we go for it, but the world will look very familiar once you click embrace through. You know, she gets engulfed. She got engulfed. She got sucked down like Alice in Wonderland. But it takes you to Sylvan Glade. As you can see, we have some fairies here. Now, they're fully customizable, So you can change their outfit if you click like MC Command Center, just go into cast with them. But I did not have the patience to do that. So we're just gonna play with them in their regular outfits. But if you wanted to make it very fairy-esque, you can change their outfits. I highly recommend downloading MC Command Center because you can just click on them and modify them and not having to go through like a whole other process to get that. I honestly don't know how you would do that, but let's get back to the mod review. You want to get to know them to kind of ask them how to become a fairy. Since we don't know how to do that, we're not a fairy yet. We've just entered into Sylvan Glade. So the more we talk to them and get to know them, we can ask them, how does one acquire to become a fairy? I think we need to talk to the ethereal guardian. I don't think this is just the regular fairy. We need to talk to her, is what I remember. Sorry, I got distracted again. So there are different fairies in the world in Sylvan Glade. So this is like a Glade fairy. So from what I got from this is they basically help out obviously around the world. The ethereal guardian, though, is who you want to find, not talking to the Glade fairy. That's not going to get you anywhere. We want to basically ask her how to become a fairy. Now, with that being said, we're going to do the same thing like I was doing, but with the right sim. It's very important that you find the ethereal angel and not just another fairy. The more you get to know the ethereal guardian too, the more things you'll be able to do with her. So right now we have the thing that I was looking for. So we'll go ahead and ask about becoming a fairy. Now that we've done that, it says, well, ... You didn't hear this from me, but there are wise, elusive sprites that wander the forest. They possess great magic and may be able to turn you into one of the Fae. If you manage to get in their good graces, that is ... All right, so we need to find some sprites. That is my favorite drink. Yeah, we gotta find some sprites, and honestly, I don't know exactly where they are, so this will be interesting. Oh, I am so slow. All you have to do is basically click the ground to hit search for sprites. You know, I did my research on this, and it's like all of the information that I read about this mod has escaped my brain. Like, I literally sat down reading this whole mod, like what I needed to do to get this to work, and now that I'm in game, everything has left me. It's still gonna be a good mod review though. Okay, so it said these are the little sprites that I was talking about. These are the little guys, and you basically chat with them. What are you doing? She just wanted to leave. It says Allison found a sprite. Try to get on its good side by talking to it or giving it compliments. You never know what this charming little forest spirit might offer in return. There is a lot that this little guy can do. So we basically want to talk to it like a familiar, or if you have the paranormal pack, I believe it's like those, I can't think of their names right now, but you want to get on their good sides like it's a gnome during Harvest Fest. Maybe, does the sprite like to gossip? Because Allison has made a good enough impression on the sprite to ask for a favor. Try making a wish and see what happens. This is what we want. So you can basically ask to follow it, which it will follow you around Sylvan Glade like a familiar. So if you wanted to keep the sprite, you can do that. But we want to make a wish, and here you can ask for a lot of wishes. You can ask for intelligence, wealth, wish for a child, and ask for romantic connection, but we're not interested in any of that. We want to become a fairy. So we're going to ask, and hopefully it has granted us permission to become a fairy. So now she's like begging. She's like, please, please let me become a fairy. And it worked. She is now a fairy. So that is what happens to your Sims when they go through that process. She is now flying. It says she's acquired fairy magic. She's also required the pixie level, which is obviously, if you've seen Tinkerbell, you know what Pixie does. We have the fairy tale where we basically need to get the fairy handbook like I was showing you guys earlier in the video. We need to ask one of the, I think it's the guardian. We got to go back to the guardian. And it's also required flight skill as well. Now, I'm pretty sure children can acquire flight skills, so you can have baby fairies and witches in the game, I'm pretty sure. But the most important part about being a fairy is our wings. And you can notice that we have this little like kind of not hex, but we have this little like outline for the wings, and they haven't shown up yet because we don't have any wings currently installed on her. That sounded so wrong. We don't have any wings on her right now, not installed. I think we can select wings through here. I went ahead and downloaded the animated wings mod by Spinning Plum Bobs. I'll link it all down in the description, but they have a bunch that you can choose from. We got some pink wings. We're gonna go back to Mayumi, and we need to basically kind of French her up a bit because we need to ask her for a book. And if we don't have enough points for that, we can't ask her about that. We could probably ask her about fairy form. There's a lot going on here. Like, you can basically have like power matches with them, like what they're doing right now. You can ask about their magical abilities. There's just a whole lot going on right now. So this is her level of fairy. And then magic can be used by all fairies, but fairies that draw upon specific sources have access to special abilities and perks. For instance, a fairy of nature has enhanced talent for gardening and can learn nature spells quicker than other fairies. I may have an extra copy of the fairy handbook lying around, but I'm not going to give it to just anyone. I barely know you. So this is great because I have UI cheats and I can just basically run this cheat, and yeah, she can like optimistic sims. And then I'm gonna go back to Mayumi and basically say, can I have that book please? She's asking her now. We should get this book. I suppose I could spare a copy of the fairy handbook. You seem like a decent fairy and I'd hate for you to be without guidance. Here you go. See, I told you. We got the book. We got the fairy handbook. So you can either buy this or you can do it properly and get it through another fairy. It's up to you guys. Now we can basically open up our fairy handbook and then it will let us know what we need to do as a fairy. So here is the fairy handbook, and basically it says all fairies are unique with different spells and magical abilities to keep track of. Here are all of these mystical exploits are recorded for your convenience. As these powers grow, the handbook will reflect those changes and allow you to see what these powers can become. Obviously, we're not going to be able to unlock everything today in this video unless we do like a let's play, but we have 1 out of 5 fairy forms, 0 out of 10 magical abilities, and 0 out of 27 spells. So the more you go through this, you'll be able to, you know, unlock different forms. Like, for example, Mayumi is at the top. She's an ethereal guardian. She's already maxed out all those things. But we are a pixie. We're inexperienced and ready to learn. Pixies are just starting their path to become full-fledged fairies. We have the magical abilities as well that give you different things that your fairies are able to do that you can go through when you're playing with this mod. And then this is kind of the spells. There are 27 of them, so probably going to take a minute for you to unlock all of those, but it basically, you can go through and see the ones that you've unlocked and see the ones that you haven't unlocked. When you're done, you can just close it. I guess we can learn, I don't even know if we can learn spells. We have to have at least a magic level 2, but she can study in that fairy book. So for the sake of this mod review, I did bump it up a bit for her fairy magic, just because I do want to get to some of these spells. I want to learn some spells. We also need to increase her fairy XP to learn new skills. So our fairy form is just at a level 1. We can initiate a magic battle. I mean, she's probably going to lose, but I'm actually quite curious as to see what happens. I love how she's holding the book. But here they go. He is a level higher than us, but anything can happen. But that's pretty much how you become a fairy. So as they're doing this, now your next goal is to get the XP higher, your, you know, all your levels higher so you can do more stuff within the mod. That is kind of the how to become a fairy. There are quite a few steps that you do need to follow in order to do it, but I really like the way that Spinning Plum Bobs set it up. I think it's kind of very realistic, you know, within it, and you can have a little fairy family, you know. So I love having more cults in The Sims, so I'm really happy with this mod. From the little gameplay that I have done with it, it's probably become one of my new favorite mods to have in my game, like occult wise. So I think she's lost. I don't know how long this goes for, so she definitely did lose. You can also go into your fairy form through obviously the fairy interaction stuff, and you can auto wings on, fairy form effects off, turn hovering off, use magical outfit. There is a feature in here that you can have like a special animation whenever you change like form. You can mess around with that. We also have, again, the magic stuff we kind of went over. And then the wings here, you can hide your wings. You can select wings. So you can change your wings through that panel as well. I guess we can draw. What is this draw power from nature? We had a few other ones, but I'm curious to see what this one is. Like they said when I was reading from the book, they said you can, you know, choose between different, you know, some fairies are able to have other powers closer to other things and other fairies. So like if your Sims are better, you know, with the nature aspect, they can, you know, help grow things better and stuff like that. So not really sure what it does. Is she getting any XP from this? No. Okay, so we got a thing and it says Allison has successfully tapped into the power of nature. Forget a green thumb. All of Allison's fingers bring life and magic to any plant they touch. All aspects of nature speak to her as they are the source of her magic. That's pretty cool. So we can basically, you know, help our foliage. What do you mean Allison does not own this? I think I'm gonna have to go back home and buy the book, but at least it's here. She can go in the water. We know how much Allison loves water. Is there any more spells that she can learn? You know what? I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. I just want her to do one spell. Actually, you know what? Forget the spells. You guys can have fun with the spells. I want to find a unicorn. I added this mod in because I thought it went perfect with the fairy mod. And I believe you need to go into the traits panel and add in Rainbow's End. The local chatter says that this location is thought to be where rainbows touch down from the sky. Not only does that make this a very magical place, very magical location, but people have reported seeing unicorns frolicking around. I want to add that because I feel like definitely Sylvan Glade would have unicorns here. Search for unicorns. So if you have the Horse Ranch pack, you can download the unicorn mod. I think it just adds a lot to it because I know people have been really wanting unicorns in The Sims. Obviously, we do have horses now, so I know there's some mods that will add in unicorns to your game. This is one of them. It does take a minute though, because I think she's got to search for them. Oh, we got one. Mythical beast. Allison discovered a unicorn. What a majestic and mythical creature. Allison should try getting friendly with it so we can wake them up. Now, there are different unicorns. There's nice ones and mean ones, and I'm pretty sure this is a nice one. But tell me this just does not add so much into your game. You can have a fairy and a unicorn family. So we just became acquaintances with Mawar. I'm gonna ask for horn dust. I have no clue what that does. This is actually really cute. You can literally become best friends with a unicorn in The Sims. Tell me that is not the best thing you have ever seen. So yeah, so if you have the Horse Ranch pack, you can also add unicorns into your game. Make it a little bit more fun within the Fairy and Witches mod. They're, again, different types of unicorns. So, you know, if you're playing with a witch, you know, game, you could probably get a different type of unicorn in your game. But this just adds a lot to it. You can actually have a more interesting occult, you know, legacy. I know a lot of people play with occults and they have their legacy challenge and a bunch of different challenges out there. So I wonder if we could mount onto this unicorn. Oh, there we go. We can ride. I don't think the unicorn liked that one. Here are some different things you can do. Bind as familiar, so we can make it ours. So it is now bound to our sim. We can now ask for its horn dust like we did before, and then the familiar is asked to summon ingredients. I don't really know what that does. Okay, we got something over here. We got what is this? It's like a little gift. Oh, we got a Glimmerstone rock. We can go to Glimmerstone. We don't want to destroy that. We also got the unicorn dust, which can... The horn of a unicorn is known to be the source of its magic. With just a small sprinkle of the iridescent, even the most deadly elements can be cured. Oh, so this is good if you want to cure something. And we also got some gemstones and stuff like that, which is probably good for spell making. But we're going to go back home because we did have like I said, a little house. This mod as well I want to test out. Now that we're a fairy, what can we do with this little bungalow that I bought? We're back home. It seems like we haven't been back here in ages. Okay, so we can do a few things. We can throw a house party as a fairy. I need to see what this looks like. Oh my god, she's a little fairy. Did you guys see that? There's like little music coming out, but she like shrank. You can't, it's a shame I can't see them. But she was a little fairy. Now she's back. But hold on, she can shower in her fairy house. Like, look at this. She's a little fairy. That is so cool. Okay, anyways, I think we covered majority of the mod. Again, I highly recommend playing with this mod. There's so much stuff that you can do. Just like within Realm of Magic, there is so many gameplay options that you can do. So now having 2 more occults in game is quite cool. Your Sims can now be a fairy and also a witch. So I did have a lot of fun playing it, even though we didn't play it for too long. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Hope you all enjoyed it and hope you learned something new about The Sims 4 modding. exploring world. I definitely had a lot of fun playing with this. I can't wait to see if we are getting fairies in The Sims 4 or not. Either way, this mod is staying in my Sims 4 game. This is very, very cool. I might have to start an occult legacy, you know, with this mod as well. I really recommend going to check out Spinning Plum Bobs. I know he has also expanded mermaids, which we have covered on this channel, so I can link that as well so you guys can go watch that one. But definitely go check out this mod. There is so many gameplay interactions that we probably didn't get through all in this video, but I did enjoy the little let's play. So let me know down in the comments if you would download this into your Sims 4 mod. And with that, if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also make sure to hit that notifications button so you never miss another video like this. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite part of this mod was. And again, on Wednesday, we'll be doing the witches portion of this mod. But with that, I will see you all on Wednesday.